Hello. So this morning I was doing a meditation from one of the teachers that teaches at the studio that I go to. Her name is Emily Dewberry, which I'll tag her. And also this weekend I spent basically all of Saturday reading A New Earth from Eckhart Tolle, I think is how you say it. And so it was so interesting that what I was reading yesterday and then what our topic of meditation today talked about all kind of played into one another. So in The New Earth, the beginning of it's talking a lot about your ego. And I've always been kind of confused about just conversations that I've heard and seen, like read stuff about like your ego. So I've wanted to learn more about it. This book was really helpful in that. But also with my meditation this morning, I was able to kind of realize some things about our desires and how our ego plays a role in that. So in our meditation, Emily was asking us like, think of some things that you desire. And so thought about that. And then the other part of that was, think of some things that you're grateful for that surround that desire. And it just kind of occurred to me that so many times when we are desiring things, whether it be a certain job, a certain apartment, a certain relationship, a certain financial status, so many times when we are desiring things, it's coming from a place of lack and scarcity. Like, hey, I don't have these things, and once I get those things, I'm going to be happy and everything is going to be more complete. So, I just realized that, like, for so long in my life, I've gone after I've desired things from a place of lack instead of a place of gratitude and abundance for what I already have. And that's kind of where, like, I felt like the ego has played so much into that with me and just with people that I know, that when we are coming from a place of lack and scarcity, that's our ego working and telling us, like, you're not already enough. You aren't already whole as you are. But when you're coming from a place of gratitude and abundance, it's coming from a place of already being whole and already feeling fulfilled and knowing that anything additional that you get is not going to complete you because you are already complete. And it just was crazy to me, like, pairing off those two things as far as like our desires and coming from a place of lack and scarcity, and then also our ego and how our ego plays a role into how we manifest things into our lives, or lack of manifesting things into our lives. But it just, and I don't know, I just started thinking about like the physical aspect of it. Like when you are coming from a place of lack, like you're physically, like you're reaching out to grab something, and what happens when you actually grab a hold of it? What happens when you get it? Your hands are going to be full, and you are probably going to come into a place where you're wanting something else. And what's going to happen when your hands are already full? You're going to have to let go of something in order to go grab something else. And I think that was kind of like the concept around like what I was thinking about with desiring things into our lives coming from a place of lack and scarcity, instead of desiring things from a place of abundance and gratitude. And when we're in meditation, like oftentimes they tell you to like sit with like your hands on your knees, like with your hands wide open. And to me, I feel like when I'm doing that, like I'm like physically like having my hands open, like allowing things to come into me. And I just kind of like was thinking about the act of like grabbing something and your hands being closed, and sitting with something in abundance and your hands being open and allowing things to flow into you with open hands, like without having to grab on and to hold things. And when you're coming from a place of gratitude and abundance, like you're allowing things to flow in and out. You're not trying to grab after things and hold on to them. And it was crazy this morning to be doing that meditation and just really thinking about like where I've been at with things in my past about things that I've desired, like I've definitely come from a place of thinking that like, oh, well, when I make this move, or when I, start making this much money with my business, or when I get those types of relationships in my life, like I will just be so much happier and I will feel so much more complete. But I just realized that like those things are like, it's just once you get something, you're going to want more things, and you are only accumulating things. And obviously we can't take that stuff with us. And it's just that it's all your ego. Like you're never going to be happy from accumulating things. You'll be happy when you're practicing gratitude and abundance, and you let things flow into your life naturally, and you let other things flow out of your life naturally. Like feeling whole already, and not letting that ego talk to us, and not letting that ego tell us that like we need certain things, like we are this or we are that because of these things. And it just really got me thinking about like coming from like manifesting and desiring things, coming from a place of gratitude and abundance already, instead of coming from a place of lack and scarcity. I think changing up the way that we manifest things is so important to like the longevity of like our happiness, because if we're not coming from a place of already having gratitude, we're just going to continue to find other things that we need and other things that we want. But when you're coming from a place of feeling whole, no matter what it is, like whole just literally in this one body, then things will just naturally come in and out, and we will never feel a sense of lack or scarcity because we are already whole in this body. So that was my takeaway from my meditation this morning. Shout out to Emily Dewberry. And also that was my takeaway from the New Earth, the beginning of it, because I've only read like 70 pages yesterday. But so yeah,